What's up, everybody? It's Bree here, and welcome to today's practice. Today we are going to be focusing on back body strength, thoracic mobility, so that's the opening and closing of your chest, and core activation. I know they seem like three completely different things, but they actually work so well together, and we're going to try to attack them all today. I'm going to be using props today, but as always, you do not have to use them if you don't have them. If you would like to improvise your props, the long TheraBand, you can use a blanket, a sweatshirt, a towel, something to give you a little extra length. The blocks, if you don't have blocks, you can use your couch cushion, pillows, stack up some blankets, really anything just to kind of help support you and get you into that shape. All right, as always, we're gonna get a little mindful before we begin. So we're gonna start on our back, knees bent, feet are flat, arms are gonna come down by your side, and I'll meet you when you're ready. All right, so if you're ready to go, I'm ready to start. So we're gonna start on our back. So lay all the way down, knees are bent, feet are flat. I'm gonna put my arms down my side, and you can let your knees fall in, you can let them fall open for reclined butterfly. Just something so we can switch gears, telling the body we're gonna start to move, we're taking it out of autopilot, starting to bring the mind back into the body. And once you're here, take a full breath in, filling up the chest in all four directions. Big exhale, let it go. One more. Big exhale. Great job. Now just find your natural rhythm. Don't force the breath. Don't move the ribs more than they need to. Just breathe and see if you can start to turn your body inward, turn your mind inward. You're coming back into the physical body. You've probably been in your mind all day, so we're going to switch gears. Starting to get heavy on the mat. Actually feeling the breath move along the body. Got another big inhale, fill it all the way up. Big exhale. Good. You're gonna take your arms out towards your side on your next inhale. Take feet wider than the mat and just a gentle sway side to side with the knees. So you're gonna inhale, take both knees to the right. Exhale, start bracing or squeezing that core as you come through center. And then inhale, drop the knees over to the left. Slow and controlled. It doesn't need to be fast. You're just starting to connect movement with breath. Warming up the spine, warming up that low back. Exhale through center. Inhale over to the other side. Good, and then on your next exhale, come back through center. And then we're gonna take both knees to the right, arms come out towards the side. We're gonna start pressing palms in towards the floor. Roll your shoulders back and down so you're on the floor nice and flat. Start pressing this left knee down in towards the floor, and then you're gonna squeeze this glute, push your hip forward, open it up. Take a full breath in here. Big breath out. Good. Soften on the exhale, come through center, squeeze through the core, and then you're gonna go over to the left side on the inhale. Both knees to the left, press the palms into the floor, press that right knee down as you squeeze the glute, push that hip forward. And then big exhale, come back through center. Great job. All right, we're gonna start working that core activation. So if you have the block or something you're gonna use instead of the block, go ahead and grab that now. If not, don't even worry, you can use your hands instead. So you're gonna put the block on your right knee. We're gonna float this right knee in a tabletop position. I'm gonna start squeezing my pelvic floor so my core is nice and tight. The block or your hand goes on your knee, and we're gonna push really, really hard. Head, neck, and shoulders can stay on the floor, but I need you to squeeze the core. Imagine you're zipping up your abs all the way through the top of the head. Push into the block as you push your knee in towards the block. Start feeling that core bracing and squeezing really tight. We're gonna hold this for 3, 2, 1, soften, let it go. Good, we're gonna switch sides. Pull that left knee in, give it a good squeeze, either both hands or use the block. Push the block into the knee. As you push the knee in towards the block, create tension in that core. Now start zipping it up from the pelvic floor all the way up. So you're trying to make your belly flat. Don't worry if it's not, but that's the goal. Like you're imagining like you're trying to make it flat, not sucking it in, but you're squeezing all the core muscles. Big push, hold for 3, 2, 1. Good job. Now we're just going to add on to this movement. So go back over to the right. My right knee's in a tabletop position. Try to get knee stacked over hip. Ankle is in line with the knee. That's going to be the best alignment here. Now I'm going to take my left hand, put it on my block or my knee, whatever I'm using. Now create tension. Push the hand into the block, push the knee into the block. So I'm nice and tight. Send your right arm up. So here's how we're starting. Now on your exhale, float this left leg up so you're in a full tabletop position. My right arm is going to stay here. As I inhale, tap the left toes to the floor without taking tension off of this block. Exhale, come back to tabletop. Inhale, tap. Exhale, bring it in. Good. Inhale. Exhale, tap. Keep pressing and lower. Good job. Come back down or bring it all the way down and relax. You can soften, rock side to side. We're going to switch sides. So bring the block over to the left knee, float the leg, press, create tension. Right hand is on the block. Left arm comes up, brace the core, pull that right knee in. And here we go. Inhale, tap the right toes down, create tension. Don't lose the tension. Exhale, bring it back to tabletop. Inhale, toe tap. Exhale, tabletop. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, tabletop. Pause and lower down. Great job. We're just going to keep adding on, seeing if we can keep that core. Some things I want you to notice. Notice if you're rocking back and forth. So if the legs are going down and you're moving, if this block is moving at all, just know you're moving your body too much and you're not bracing or squeezing the core enough. All right, here we go. Back to the right. We got one more thing. Left hand on the block, push tightly, nice and tight. I'm creating tension. Now I'm going to bring this left knee up. I can put my right arm out towards the side. I'm going to try to make a hip circle all the way around. So now if I see this block moving or my hips are rocking, I'm doing too much work. Extra slow, create tension here all the way around. If you want to stack your hands, you can do that. Big old circle all the way around. And then bring it back through center. And switch directions. Good job. You got one more. And bring it all the way in and relax. Good job. We're going to switch sides. Whew, my core is already on fire. All right, float that left knee. Give it a good squeeze. When you're ready, exhale, pull that right knee in. You're in tabletop. Stack the hands, create tension. Now make that hip circle with the right knee all the way around. Remember, if you see this block moving at all, you're doing too much work. Everything needs to be stable. And switch directions, go the opposite way. One more, come back through center and pause. Excellent job, take it down. Let go of that block, gently rock side to side, stretching out that core, taking a full breath in, full breath out. Excellent job. All right, we're gonna roll over to our left side. So this is gonna be my left side. I'm gonna put both hands together and I'm gonna put a block in between my knees. If you don't like your head hanging, like lower than your shoulder, you can put a block or maybe your pillow, whatever you have, or some sweatshirts underneath you so you're nice and neutral. But we're gonna put both arms in front, squeeze this block together. We're gonna start opening up that chest. Create tension here. I want you to smush whatever you have in between your knees, like you're trying to break it through. Maybe smush it into a pancake. As you inhale, you're gonna take this right arm, open up your chest. Big reach, big reach, big reach. And I want you to pause here. Now this top leg, your right leg, I want you to keep pushing it forward as if somebody's pulling you from that knee as you reach your right fingertips in the opposite direction. This is the best way to get the thoracic opening in this shape. Usually what happens when you're in class and they tell you to open up the chest here, you're rocking back, you're letting the hip come with you, knees are floating, lots of things are happening. So we want to focus on some good things to keep us in place to get the best workout or the best feeling out of this shape. So to do that, press this right knee down, squeeze it as tight as you possibly can. Now as I take this right arm and open it, think about pushing your right hip forward, the opposite direction of your right fingertips. Now exhale, close the hands together. Inhale, open. The head can move, but nothing else moves except the shoulder and that arm. Bring it back through center. One more, take it wide. Keep squeezing that block really hard. If your knees come off or your feet come off, you're reaching too far for your strength today. And then we mate back through center. Good, now we're gonna add on. You're gonna do the same thing, but instead, once you reach here, you're gonna take the elbow down and try to reach for the floor, and then bring hands back together. But remember, it really only works when you create tension in the body. So if you're not feeling your thoracic opening or your chest opening, you're more than likely rocking back too much and you're shifting your hips. I would look at your hips, maybe pull the chin down just for a little bit so you can watch what you're doing. So as I rotate back, this stays stable. I reach for the floor and then I bring it right back. If you have the option to film yourself, highly recommend it, because sometimes you think you're doing things and then you watch it back and you're like, wow, I definitely was not. I do that all the time. All right, ready? Last one. Pull that right elbow down. And close the hands. Excellent job. We're gonna switch sides, but I'm just gonna flip. You can just roll over, but this way I'm still facing the camera. So I'm gonna put the block underneath my head. Now my left knee is stacked on top and then block is in between the knees. Both hands are together to start. Make sure hips are in line with the knees. Everything's stacked and in a nice 90-degree. Hands are together. Remember, when you open, you press the hip forward away from the fingertips. Here we go. Inhale, open. Exhale together. Inhale, open. Exhale together. Inhale, open. Exhale together. Good. Now we're gonna add in the elbow bend. So as you open, stop halfway, bring the elbow down, and then bring it back together. Good job. Remember, keep pressing that hip in the opposite direction to really get a twist here, and bring it together. Last one. Bring it back. Inhale. Exhale together. Excellent job. Take that block out of the way and then make your way to tabletop position, however that is for you, whether it's a roll over to the side, a rock, or anything, but we're gonna be in tabletop. So hands and knees. You're gonna bring those shoulders and wrists are gonna be in line with each other and knees are directly underneath your hips. Find your neutral spine. So usually once you get here, what happens is we dip the pelvis down and we sink into the shoulders. So we're gonna push away from the floor and I have a nice neutral spine. From there, you're gonna tuck the toes, keep pushing into the floor, and then I want you to think about rolling shoulders back and down. So your back body's already starting to work and be engaged. Lats are working, they're active as well. All right, so on the inhale, we're gonna do cat-cow. So you're gonna drop the belly, pull the chin off the chest, roll the shoulders back, and then on the exhale, round the spine, pull the chin in, tuck the tailbone, push the pubic bone forward. Inhale, drop the belly nice and slow. Roll the shoulders back. Keep the movement slow here so we're not just going back and forth and dumping into the spine. I want you to keep it as slow as you possibly can. And then exhale, round. Inhale, come back to a neutral space, and then grab your blocks or whatever bolster you're using. We're gonna put it underneath the hands. We're gonna play with these underneath different spaces so we can get into different areas of our back, our upper back, low back, maybe our hips or shoulders. See what works best for you. So we're gonna start with the blocks underneath our hands, one underneath each. Push into the floor, neutral spine to start, and cat-cow again. Inhale, drop the belly. Pull it down, pull the shoulders back, lats pull down. Exhale, round, tuck it in, push pubic bone forward, tuck the tailbone. Inhale. Exhale, round. Good. Inhale, come back to a neutral spine. Now shift those blocks underneath your knees, or again, whatever you're using, pillows, blankets, maybe a yoga bolster, whatever you have. This one usually seems to feel a little bit better in people's bodies because it lets that low back open up a little more. All right, find the neutral spine, push down first. Core is already tight, back body is working. So roll the shoulders back. Imagine I poked all these muscles and you're starting to engage them already. Here we go, inhale, drop. Exhale, round. Inhale, drop. And exhale, round. Great job, come back to a neutral space and get those blocks out of the way. Good. We're gonna try to slow that movement down a little more. I know we've been here longer than you usually are, but we're really trying to get into that spine. We're gonna start to wave the spine. So this is how you truly do a cat-cow, to really work that spinal mobility. So find your neutral spine again. Remember, you're pushing away, long spine. So if I looked at you from the side, you have a nice long line, maybe a slight arch, your natural arch, but nothing too crazy either way, okay? Now, when we inhale, usually we drop the belly, pull the chin off the chest, but we make it into one motion. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna break up the body. Start with your tailbone first. So my head, neck, shoulders don't even move. As I inhale, I tilt my hips down, tailbone goes up, work my way up the spine, and then head, neck, and shoulders elongate. Now, as you exhale, we're gonna do it the opposite direction. So now my tailbone tucks first, tuck, tuck, tuck. Keep working your way up the spine till your head is the very last thing to work. If you have a mirror or a phone, something to record yourself or watch you move through this space, it's gonna help a lot more, because it's really hard to work through the body when you can't see the spine moving. Now, to come back to the inhale to drop the belly, we gotta start with the tailbone. So I'm still in this rounded position. Tailbone works first, low back, mid back, upper back, then head, neck, and shoulders open up. Good. Move with your breath and your pace. Again, really trying to segment the movement, articulate the spine, pushing through the shoulder blades to get that rounded spine, and then reverse it. Last one. Beautiful. Meet back in a neutral space. Pull that belly back up and push back, child's pose. Knees wide, walk those hands forward, melt it down. Taking a full breath in here, expanding the chest in all four directions. Big exhale. One more. And a big exhale. Great job. On your inhale, come back to tabletop position. We're gonna bring those knees back together if they were a little wider than hip distance, and then walk your knees back a little bit, because we're gonna shift back and forth. So tuck your toes, bring your hips back onto your heels, send it back, child's pose, drop the chest down, but stay active here. Try not to just melt down. Really think about pushing hands into the floor, keeping that nice neutral spine. My core is already working. It hasn't stopped being engaged this whole time. Now, as you inhale, we're gonna shift forward. Keep that core nice and tight. Bring shoulders over your wrists. Drop the hips down. Roll the shoulders back just like we did. Maybe a little shimmy. Get into that low back, get into the hips, whatever you need. And then we're gonna go right back to that child's pose, hips to heels. Drop the forehead down slowly, but keep the back engaged. Good. Inhale, come forward, push into the hands, round the spine. Core is tucked in from the pelvic floor. Shift forward, drop it down, roll the shoulders back, and go straight back to your child's pose. Great job. Beautiful. We're going to stay here in this child's pose. So if you need something underneath you to kind of help support, because child's pose can be a little crunchy after a while, I would stack up some blocks or put a pillow underneath you. Good. Now from here, we're going to start to work our back body. Okay. We're going to get right into it. So if you need to, you can put a forehead or a block underneath your forehead to help support that head, neck, and shoulders, or that space, because sometimes it gets a little sore holding the head in as we start to lift our hands up. So you're going to press your palms into the floor, squeeze the core around that back body just slightly so it's already starting to work. Palms are pressing into the floor. As I inhale, I'm going to lift my left arm up without throwing the shoulder up, without rocking to the side, and without shrugging the shoulder. I'm purely lifting from my back body and slowly lowering. Then you're going to alternate. So now my right arm lifts and I control the lower. Keep going. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. If you want to try it without the block and keep your head in a neutral space, you're more than welcome to. Lift and lower. But remember, we're not shrugging the shoulder up. Don't rotate to the side. If you're starting to do any of that, that means you're lifting too high for your strength today. Big lift and lower. Lift and lower. One more each side, right and left. Good job. Come back through center. Walk those hands back. Lift your chest up, hands behind the head. Just a little seated cat-cow, because sometimes that makes that back body a little stiff and crunchy. So open it up and around it. Great job. Come back to neutral. We're going to come back to that child's pose. So reach forward. melt down. This time we're going to take our arms out towards the side. So again, if you need a block for the forehead, you definitely can. Make sure arms are almost straight out from the shoulders. If you need to be a little in head or a little behind, you can, but not too much. Straight out to the sides, we lift, squeeze the shoulder blades together, roll shoulders back and down, pause, and slowly lower. Big inhale, lift, and slowly lower. Keeping the core nice and tight. So you're holding yourself in that space. You're not just collapsing onto those thighs. Holding, if you need to, take your forehead off the block so it helps you remind yourself to squeeze the core. And then lower. Last one. Inhale, lift, and lower. Excellent job. Go ahead and walk yourself back, lift it up, a little seated cat-cow, maybe a little snake action, maybe a little circle, whatever feels good in that body. This dang thing will not stay on. It's fallen off like 3 times. Once you're done, you're gonna climb forward and come all the way down to your belly. We're gonna do some prone work. So prone just means you're on your belly, so that we're really gonna work back body strength. So lay all the way down on your belly. And then from here, I want you to start squeezing your glutes together. Squeeze your quads, your legs are active. Press the tops of your feet down into the floor. Toes are pointed. You're gonna take hands right underneath the shoulders. I'm gonna lift my head or my chest up a little bit because otherwise you won't hear me in this mic, but you can definitely be a little softer on the mat right now. Elbows are squeezing together. Hands are right underneath the shoulders or a little bit farther behind, but not in front of the shoulders. As we inhale, you're gonna lift head, neck, and shoulders. Don't throw the head up too much, but keep squeezing the elbows together. And then as you exhale, lower straight back down to the floor. You can bring the forehead all the way down. Inhale, big lift, squeeze the elbows together. Try not to throw the head back too much, just keep it in a neutral space. So you're kind of just looking off of your mat. And then exhale, lower. Keep pressing feet down. Inhale, big lift. Exhale, lower. Great job. Last one. Inhale, big lift. Keep squeezing those elbows together. You should feel that back body working, but your core is also squeezing. So I need you to pull it away from the floor, tense those muscles, press the tops of the feet down, and then exhale, bring it all the way down. You're gonna stack your hands on the way down, bend your knees, rock side to side. Again, if I go all the way to the floor, you won't hear me in this mic, but imagine my forehead stacked on my hands, so you'd be like this, rocking side to side. Okay, just softening the low back because the back is gonna get pretty tight, or it's gonna get pretty crunchy because we're gonna start to strengthen it. Okay, come back through center, straighten out the legs again, squeeze the quads. I know we're working back body, but everything is still working. Squeeze glutes, squeeze quads, press the feet down into the floor, send arms behind you. Your forehead's going to be on the floor, palms are down. As we inhale, just lift head, neck, and shoulders, reach those fingertips back, roll shoulders back and down, your lats are engaged and your core is also engaged. So pull it off of the floor. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. As if somebody's just gently pulling you from the shoulders, reach the fingertips back, press the tops of your feet down, and then lower. Last one. Inhale, big lift. Open up your chest and lower it all the way down. Good job. Stack hands, rock your knees side to side, soften that low back. All right, this next one is gonna be pretty spicy. So if you need to, come back, push back to child's pose and lengthen out that spine because we're gonna take arms over the head. We're gonna do like a little swimmer. If you've done Pilates before, you know swimming, but we're gonna slow it down just a little bit more so we make that back body and core work together. So send arms in front of you, legs are straight out behind you. I'm gonna press my left palm into the floor as hard as I possibly can so everything is engaged here. And I'm gonna pick up my right arm and my left leg. From here, I'm pushing my left palm down and my right leg into the floor. I'm squeezing my glutes and squeezing my quad really tight. Good. Now from here, it's almost like you're pushing off with this left hand to get you a little bit higher. Right arm is extended and left toes are extended. I'm reaching through those fingertips. We're gonna switch, but you're not gonna drop. So when I go to switch sides, try not to drop in between. So I'm gonna keep this height and just switch hands and legs. Keep reaching in opposite directions and switch, and switch. One more each side, switch, keep breathing, switch, and soften. Good job. Hands down, stack your hands, rock side to side. I know that was a spicy one, so if you're starting to feel it here, you're just gonna push back, find your child's pose, and lengthen it out. Big breath in, maybe even rounding the spine, tucking that tailbone. Sometimes that feels really good. Big breath in, and a big breath out. And from there, come back to your belly. Now we're gonna just do a little stretch. I know we did a lot of strengthening, so we'll stretch it out a little bit. So arms are gonna come out towards the side, put your chin down on the floor. We're gonna bend our left knee and take it over to the right side without picking up the left arm. Okay, so chin comes down, come over to the left leg over to the right. Keep both arms down. Inhale, come through center, we switch sides. Both arms down, bend the right knee, take it over to the left. Center, push up, tabletop position. Great job. You're gonna just swing your legs around, sitting up nice and tall. Legs are going to extend out in front of you. And then you're gonna open them just a little bit wider than hip distance. So if they're straight out from the hips, just open them just a little bit wider. We're gonna start sitting up nice and tall, squeezing the quads, pointing the toes, legs are active. If sitting up tall is a very spicy position for you already, you're gonna find your blocks or whatever you have and just elevate yourself. So I like to use one block, one for each butt cheek. And then just lift yourself. It kind of makes more space in the body to sit up tall without straining to sit up. Okay, so pick whatever you'd like. Legs are a little bit wider than hip distance. Arms are gonna come out towards the side. When arms come out towards the side, try not to pull your belly forward. We're gonna stay in line with the body. So that's why we're working back body strength to keep us in line. If you need to, bring your arms somewhat forward. Squeeze quads, legs are active. Core is zipping up from the pelvic floor. As I inhale, I'm gonna turn to the left. Left hand is leading the way as my right arm comes. Try not to round or tuck that tailbone as we turn. You're rotating as tall as you possibly can. And then exhale, come back through center. Inhale, rotate to the right. Broad, big broad chest. And come back through center. One more each side, rotate. And come back. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, come back. Excellent job. All right, we're gonna add in a little bit more spice to that to help with the thoracic rotation. Take your band and we're gonna place it around our right foot. If you can loop it, so I'm gonna put the one end near the bottom of, or near my foot, so that way I can make a loop, but I still have a lot of extra slack at the end. So I just have a loop just so I can hold it in place. And then I'm just gonna put my left foot on top just to hold that there. And then I'm gonna put my left foot on top just to hold the band in place because we're gonna do a little rotation here. So the closer you grab to your foot, the spicier it's going to be. So if you wanna play with spice, move down or back, this dang thing. All right, so left hand behind the head, you're sitting up nice and tall. Remember, we're not pulling forward. When the ribs come forward, you're missing or you're losing thoracic mobility. So up tall, elbows wide. I'm gonna find the right amount of spice that I like. You're going to row. So I'm gonna pull my right elbow to my right hip as I turn my left shoulder towards the right. So everything is turning to the right. So now my back is engaged, lats are engaged. I'm pulling this left shoulder. I'm sitting up tall and my core is pulling up from the pelvic floor. Now here's the key. You wanna resist the movement as you turn back through center, slowly. Ready? Exhale, rotate, or excuse me, inhale, rotate. Exhale, come back through center. You have two more. You can adjust the spice if you need. Remember, the closer to the foot, the harder it's going to be, so you have less slack to pull from. So the higher you are towards here, the less spicy it'll be. So two more, here we go. Exhale, pull, rotate. Bring that right hand to your right hip, not up towards your boob or the shoulder, and then resist the movement. Last one, pull. And come back to center. Good job, we're gonna switch sides. So make that loop on your left foot. Hold it with the right toes. You're sitting up nice and tall. Remember, the closer to the foot, the spicier it's gonna be. So you choose right hand behind your head. I pull my left hand to my left hip. rotate tall. So I'm not rounding through, try not tucking into that tailbone. I'm pulling up through my pelvic floor. Your core is tight. Like if I was gonna come tickle it, would be so tight. Open it up and then slowly resist it back through center. Again, rotate on the inhale. Exhale back through center. 2 more. Rotate and through center. Last one. Inhale. Find length. Now we resist it, resist it, resist it. Excellent job. Go ahead and take that band off. We can counter the movement by sending arms all the way up, squeezing quads, and then just exhale, fold a little bit. Just flex that spine. Pull chin down towards the chest. You can round it a little bit more than you normally would for a hinge if you need to, if it feels good in that low back. But full breath in and a big breath out. Great job. All right, we're gonna add a little bit more spice to this shape and then we'll slow it down. Wrap that loop around that foot again, hold that band. So you have 2 options here. So ideally we're gonna move with straight arms. So I'm gonna have both hands on my band and rotate to the right. If straight arms is too spicy, because you're gonna have to keep a tall spine, engage the back body, engage the core, you can do it with bent arms. You can do one hand and just pull with a high elbow and put that opposite hand on the thigh to help you rotate. Okay, that's the supported version. So here we go. You pick your spice. I'm gonna go with straight arms for the first one, and then I'll show you the supported version second. Here we go. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, come back through center slowly. Supported version, my left hand is on the outside of my right knee, and my right elbow is leading the way as I rotate. Resist as I come back through center. You have 2 more. Rotate and through center. Last one. And through center. Excellent job. Switch sides. Make that loop. Pick your spice. So remember, straight arms or lead with the elbow. That might be nicer, feel nicer in the body. You got 4. Pull and resist, 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 resist. 3. Come back through center. 2. Last one. And bring it back through center. Great job. Go ahead and take your band off and then flex that spine so you can round a little bit more than you normally would as we reach for those toes. Sometimes flexion feels really good, so that's that rounding of that spine. Or you can lengthen through, it's really whatever you need. Full breath in and a big breath out. Good. And then sit up nice and tall. Take those blocks out of the way. You're gonna bend your knees, hands are gonna come behind you. You can put those hands or those blocks underneath your hands if you need a little support, because we're gonna do kind of a reverse table position. So we're gonna open up that chest. Okay, so my knees are bent, feet are flat, sitting up nice and tall, roll shoulders back and down, core is pulling up from the pelvic floor. I'm gonna lift my belly as I exhale all the way up. Try to get those knees stacked over the ankles. Push the belly high, squeeze the glutes. You're not dropping head, you're keeping it in a nice neutral space. And then as you inhale, slowly bring your hips straight back to your fingertips. So don't just drop down, try to swing your glutes back to where you started so you can sit up nice and tall. Keep going, but if you want a little support, you can put blocks underneath your hands. That makes it a little bit easier, a little bit more space in the body to open up. And then bring it straight back down. Inhale first. Exhale, lift, squeeze the core, pull the pelvic floor. You should be squeezing inner thighs together, squeeze the glutes, push in towards the feet, slight bend of the elbows if you have hyperextended elbows. And remember, head's not hanging back. And then slowly lower. Remember, the goal is to pull your hips back to where you started. Don't just drop the hips, bring them back to where you started. This is your last one. Sit up tall, roll shoulders back and down. Core is tight. Try not to send belly forward to start. Inhale first. Exhale, big lift. Squeeze the glutes, pull up from the pelvic floor. Press the feet down. Squeeze your booty cheeks together. Keep pushing hard into the floor. And then on the exhale, we come down all the way. Excellent job. Go ahead and lay all the way down. Pull knees in towards your belly. Give it a nice tight squeeze. Relax head, neck, and shoulders. Maybe a gentle sway side to side. Full breath in here. Full breath out. Excellent job. And then we're just gonna finish in recline butterfly. So arms are gonna come out towards the side, feet together, knees go wide. We're just gonna hang out here, soften into the body, slowing the breath down. Big inhales, big exhales. Last one. Big exhale. And then on your next inhale, go ahead and bring your knees in towards your chest. Gently rock until you make it up to a seated position. And you all are done. Excellent job today on today's practice. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. I'll see you again soon.